Good morrow, fair citizens. My name is Pogs, and this is the pilot to a new series I'm calling 10 Hours In. A video where I showcase a new game every time I play, and I spend 10 hours playing it to see if it's worth your time and your money, because neither of those are resources that are infinite, and there's too many games out there to play, so I'm going to spend 10 hours playing it so you don't have to, and tell you whether or not it's garbage. Hopefully I get some kind of brand deal out of this. Cut that if that's not going to make it. But that's going to be the idea. Play a game for 10 hours, tell you whether or not it's garbage. We're going to start with Songs of Conquest, which is a game developed earlier this year by Lava Potion. It was published by Coffee Stain Publishing. That's currently on early access for Steam and GOG.com. So if this is going to be successful, I do need your help. If you're digging the concept and dig this show idea and kind of dig what I'm doing, drop a like and a comment saying, good job, Pogs. I like your hairline, something. So that's enough out of Sir Shill, and let's get into that review right now. So this is Songs of Conquest. This is from my first playthrough of the second mission of the first campaign. This is the Arleon faction. As of recording, there are 4 factions available. This is one of them. You see me here mousing over your army composition. And this is what the turn looks like. There's turn-based moves. The map is very interactive. There are many things on the map that you can interact with. But let's just take a look at the screen here. The top left, you have your wielder, which is your commander. They are magic users who go with your troops in the battle. You have a little bit of a cutscene here, so I'm going to shut up so you can listen to this fantastic soundtrack they have for this game. So I'll be back as soon as this is over. Isn't that just lovely? So the wielders interact with each other. That's going to be Vilja and Cecilia. They are magic users who essentially bring the troops into battle, and we'll take a look at a battle in a little bit. And they cast spells from the battlefield a lot. I haven't played this particularly, but a lot of people I've watched videos on have said this is very comparable to Heroes of Might and Magic. Those 90's turn-based strategy games. Has a new objective. Essentially, the missions are quite long, actually. Each campaign has 4 missions, and essentially you just have these objectives that you gotta keep going on. So that's one of the static. That road sign is just static. A lot of times you interact with the things on the screen, and you can get gold, you can get resources, extra movement, but that's me checking out my movement. And like I said, this was the second mission, so I was seeing tutorials that you experience to level up. And you'll notice a lot of things on the screen you can interact with. And that's one of the things I really like about this game is, while the map itself is static, there are a lot of things you can interact with. So here I'm at the wielder sheet, which is essentially just where you have your skills, your modifiers, your stats, and the inventory. So I have auto-equip stronger artifacts on, which increases your offense, defense, attack, defense, that kind of thing. So what you'll see is you have buildings throughout the map that you can claim, and you get extra resources from them. And this is me figuring out that you could have build sites, and we'll get into settlements in a second once I interact with that settlement right there. I have to realize the turn is over first. There we go. Yep, that's me reading about claiming towns and settlements. Settlements are your Civ 6 cities. They are the basis by which you recruit troops, you gain resources, and you interact with other players. So in a multiplayer game, which I really didn't get a chance to do, there weren't very many multiplayer games open when I was recording this. You would be able to raise other cities. You'd be able to you'd be able to raise other cities, you'd be able to occupy the cities, you'd be able to overtake the city, and that would essentially be how you fight other players. So, yep, that's me figuring out you can actually claim the settlement and going through it. Each of these plots of land that you see here, the ones that are barren, you can upgrade and place buildings on. There are 3 types of plots. There's a small plot on the left there. On the right side you have a medium plot, and there's also large plots. So you'd want to have a balanced ecosystem in the cities and the settlements, but you also want to be able to produce the troops that you need. Now, you see up on the top there are stacks for the troops. So that's how they function in this game. They're stacks. They're not 35 individual militia members there. They would come out as a stack of 35. So this is just another interaction with the story, with militia members. So that's a lot of the game, is interacting with the map and different people. What I'm going to do is get us into combat, and I'll be right back with you. So give me 1 second. Alright, so in this part of the video, we'll be discussing the combat. So combat's just initiated by running up on any hostile entities. So here we have Fey Spirits. You'll see that there's a threat level, and you're able to move your units as you please, your stacks, I should say. So here we have an easy threat level, and it kind of tells you about how many Fey Spirits they're going to have and how many stacks they're going to have. So obviously we have ranged units, we have non-ranged units, we have support units. Good rule of thumb is ranged units you want on the high ground, because they will benefit from a high ground advantage, and support units you want to put next to units that will benefit from their support. So on the bottom, that's your timeline. That's going to be who moves in what order. This is turn-based combat. And up in the top, you see how the minstrel just gave orbs to Cecilia. That is essence. You're able to cast spells using your heroes, or your wielders, I apologize. And your wielders are able to dictate a lot of the battles through spells. And as this is on normal, on the harder difficulties, the spells become paramount. There you go. It's protection, and I have another one there available to me, and those stack. So when you have the right combination of units that are able to stack the essences well, then you're able to use all the spells you can in a single turn. So that's us winning the fight. Very smooth. I will say, not a lot of people, not a lot of sprites on the battlefield, but that went incredibly smooth. And that's why I lost 7 minstrels, because I played that like an idiot. But, and every time you level up, you're able to improve skills, get new skills, or upgrade your command, which command is just another skill you have. You're able to upgrade skills, improve different skills, or learn new ones. I learned the ranged offense because I love rangers. So that's combat, and this is me just claiming the settlements. I will get us to a point where we have settlements in the game, and let's get to where, let me get us to where we're taking a look at the settlements and we have it all built up, and I can kind of explain it from there. Alright, so this is what the settlements will look like once you pick the buildings on the different settlements and the plots. You can see what each one's going to give you if you were to build it, and the larger settlements, larger buildings, I apologize, the larger buildings take longer to build, and they give you more advanced units and more research possibilities. So right now, building knights, you can upgrade each of the buildings so they get more units per round or more resources per round. It's pretty common sense. You'll get the hang of it. One thing I will say before we move on to the next topic is I love this art style. This art style hits me right in the gooch. It really does do things for me that I quite like. It's one of my favorite art styles. I love this 8-bit spritey art style. So you can also upgrade your troops from the barracks. So you'll see I have a yellow 1 there. I could upgrade my equipment into the better units there. The Sword of the Fist. Alright, so let's get into a boss fight, because I really don't have any multiplayer gameplay to show. So let's get into a boss fight, and then I'll be back with you. Alright, here we are at the boss fight with Captain Silkspool. He's a baddie from the Baryan mercenaries. Baryan is another playable faction. You have the Arleon, the Barya, the Rana, and the Barony of Loth. I'll get 4 playable factions with more to come. Let's see. Yep, this is your boss fight. Same kind of mechanics, except the other wielders here, they're able to use magic spells too. Musketeers, which I think are kind of just OP. And he has Spearmen, which I also think are kind of OP. But you'll see a lot of the spell use here. Kind of checking what everything does. And there go my minstrels. So, real fun. You see he used a spell that weakened my rangers and militias right here, which I dislike very much. But cannot hate the player. So we're gonna let this battle play out, and then I'll catch you at the end. Looks like this battle's about to be done here. Yep. Alright, so not the best played battle by me, but at least you can see what combat looks like, what the spells look like, and how to quote-unquote tactically use them. And I've defeated Xavier Silkspool. And the best part of this game, I hate to say the best part, but the best part of this game, by far, is what happens at the end of each of these missions. So we'll just skip to that, because essentially this is just us capturing Silkspool and exploring the city. So let me show you what I'm talking about. It's a sing-song version of what just happened. So let's get into that. Alright, just listen to this. I'll shut up.
She gave Silkspool the warm welcome he desired, defeated him and all the bandits that he hired. But Walking Dead and Faye had now appeared. No time for cheers, just swords and spears.
Tell me that wasn't just the coolest thing you've ever heard. Spoilers if you haven't, I guess, played that mission. But there you go. That is Songs of Conquest. Unfortunately, I was not able to get any multiplayer of the game. That will be in a later video. I'll try to find some for you. And those are the 2 campaigns that you could play right now. And yeah, so yeah. That being said, let me know what you guys thought. If you hated it, if you liked it, what game you want to see next, what I can do to improve. If you loved it, if you like pineapple on pizza, that one gets you a ban, but you know, whatever. Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked it, hit the video a like. If you like what you see, maybe sub to the channel. And I'm going to try to get these out every 2 weeks. Don't know how successful I'll be, but I'll try, okay? Later, guys. Pogsy out.